Hi, students. So we're going to do another game together, and it is from Prep Test 92, the most recent prep test as of right now. This is from section 4. It's the third game, and this is a grouping game. This is what I would call grouping with positions, because within each group, there are kind of like, I don't want to say a group within a group. It's more like each group has, what am I trying to, okay, let's just start. Here's our roster. We have K, L, M, N, O, and P. These are the variables that will be assigned to the groups. And we're going to call the groups junior and senior. We also know that each of these variables are going to be assigned to one and only one. So nobody's going to sit out. Nobody's going to be assigned to both. Each one is at one and only one. And we also know that there are positions within the groups, which is specifically languages. This might not be the perfect way to diagram it, but it works. Each of these groups will have one F, one G, one R kind of within it. It's a little bit like having like a captain of a team or something like that. So this is kind of a, I used to call these like a grouping with subgroups or something. I actually like to call it grouping with positions. Within each group, there are specific positions. And now we're going to go to our rules. So the first rule, basically, I already kind of symbolized for you, which is basically saying that there's one F at each school, one G at each school, one R at each school. There's not going to be like two R's at one school. We have 3 positions at each school. The next rule tells us that K and L need to go together. I'll put a block around them. They can both be together at either school, in either group, I should say. I'm trying to call them groups because that's what they are. At either group, according to this rule. We also know that L and M are going to hold the same position. This means by definition, L and M are going to have to be in different groups because they're going to each hold the same position, so they need to be in different groups. I'm going to write it like that, with X just kind of denoting which position it is. So I'm going to have K and L in one group, M will have to be in the other. These rules kind of interact with each other to mean that. Okay, and then we also know that N is going to have a particular position. And then what else? O is going to have a particular position. I would definitely set up boards here because the interaction of these rules is powerful. And there's a good chance that I can kind of like figure everything out up front, maybe, or figure out a lot of things up front where I could get a lot of work done before I go to the questions. I'm going to create 2 possibilities, 2 general templates. And in one of them, we're going to have K and L over here, and then M will have to be in the other group. And then we can also have K and L over here, and then M will have to be in the other group. I'm also noticing that I think L and M are both going to have to take a particular position, because here's the thing. L and M need to teach the same language. I already know that, like, I'm trying to figure out if there's a way for them to, either one of them, to teach anything except for German, because there's no way L and M could both teach French, because O teaches French, and we only have 2 teachers that teach French. So O is one of them. It can't be L and M. And I also know that there's no way they could both teach Russian, because N teaches Russian, and only 2 teachers teach Russian. So now I also know that L and M are going to be teaching German. Period. No matter what. And then everything else could be distributed in different ways, basically. I should have noticed this in the beginning. We do have a free agent, which is P. P doesn't have a rule attached to it. So P could go on either team and could have any position from what I can see. And I feel like I am ready to tackle the game. This is supposed to say senior. It doesn't look like it does. I'm going to fix that. I try to write as neat as I can. Okay, so let's look at number 12, or the first one. This is just a global could be true. So A is not something that could be true. There's no way that K and M could teach the same language, because L and M teach the same language. We're having basically 2 teachers per language. What about B? Obviously, B cannot be true also for the same reason. What about C? Ooh, we already established that K cannot be in the same group as M, so C is not something that could be true. What about D? D isn't something that could be true, because in each of my templates on the right and on the left, the group that contains K only has one free spot. I can't jam N and O into one spot. They would get smushed. So we know the correct answer is E. E is something that could be true. We could have N and O in a group with M. They could go over here. Actually, that works out perfectly. That it could go on either side. They can go out. They can go on either. They can go on either template. And also, neither one of them teaches German. We're good. That is what could be true. Let me go to the next page. Okay, this is awesome because it gives us a local condition. This is saying that we're going to have O and P in the group that is junior, basically O and P in here. So we're going to be dealing with our right side template, because there's no way that I could put O and P in my left side template. So I'm going to look at my right side template, and I'm actually, instead of writing on my master diagram, I'm going to transcribe it. German, German. Okay, if O and P were over there, well, O teaches French. So if P was over here at the junior high school, P would teach Russian. And what does that leave us with? This leaves us with N. So N would have to be distributed right here. We already know that N teaches Russian. So K would have to teach French. So if O and P teach at the junior high school, that's our solution for that. This is the possibility that we're going to have to use to answer this question. So what must be true? And the answer is C. This must be true. Okay, let's look at number 14. This gives us a local condition too. If L and N are at junior high school, well, that wouldn't happen on my right side because L is at senior. So we're going to have to deal with the left side. So I'm going to write in everything I already know. So if L and N were at junior, we have L and M both teaching German. I also know that N teaches French, right? No, N teaches Russian. This means that K is going to have to teach French. This leaves us with O and P to still assign. So they're going to go in my 2 available spots in the senior high school. O will have to teach French because that's one of our original rules, is that O teaches French. Which means P will have to teach Russian. So this is the possibility. This is the solution that I'm going to use to answer number 14. What must be true is A. That must be true. Okay, 15 also gives us a local condition. If M, N, and P are all at senior. So let me separate my master diagrams, or like my master templates, from the possibilities. The masters are at the top. If M, N, and P are all on senior, so that wouldn't be on my right side. because that wouldn't work. It's going to have to be on my left side. I'm going to actually write the number for this, number 15. Sometimes I like to do that just to keep everything, to kind of keep track of stuff, because things can get messy on your paper. So if M is over here, then we'd have K, L. L and M are both teaching German. N teaches Russian, which means P would have to teach French. So O would be over here and teach French. And K would have to teach Russian. Does this make sense? For some reason, I feel like I messed it up. I don't know, it's either K and L, and then M, N, and P. Yeah, this is correct. Okay, so this is the solution I'm going to use to answer number 15. What must be true? And this is what must be true. That right there. That is B. So 16 also gives us a local condition, basically saying just if N and O are together. So I might be able to use my previous work to solve that. No, I can't. I actually can't. I'm looking at my 3 possibilities that I made. Like here, N and O aren't together. Here, N and O aren't together. And also here. So I haven't made a solution where N and O teach at the same school. So I'll have to make one now. Had I had previous work, I would have used it, but I don't. So in order for N and O to be at the same school, I can look at my left side and I can see they'll have to be at the senior school. So let's figure that out. Number 16. So if N and O were together, they're both going to be at senior, and O is going to teach French, and that means N would have to teach Russian. It means P would have to be over here, and I don't know, between K and P, I don't know which language they would teach. So let's make also an example or like a solution using our right side. Using this, we could put N and O together at the junior high school. Let's do that. So O teaches French. We know that from the original rules. N teaches Russian. And that leaves us with P to assign. And I wouldn't know which language K or P teach. I guess either one could teach either French or Russian from what I can see. So what must be true now? There's basically going to be a pair of teachers. There's going to be 2 variables that need to be together in the same group, using just these 2 examples to solve. And the answer is D. M and O are together in both of our solutions. That is something that must be true. All right, last one. I wonder if I could use previous work. The local condition that they give us is that P is at the junior high school. And also P is not going to teach one particular language. Then what must be true? So I can look at, for instance, this solution that I cooked up previously. That fits the local condition. P is over in the junior group and teaching Russian. So maybe I can get rid of some things. I can't get rid of A because A is something that maybe could be true, or maybe does have to be true, I should say. Maybe B. C. Okay, all of those are actually true for this example. So let's move on. I might actually have to. I might have to actually create new work for this one. Let's look right here. So we have P at the junior high school. Imagine if it looked like this. K would teach French, and then P would teach Russian. So A is something that doesn't have to be true. It could be not true. That was my dog that was snoring. B is something that doesn't have to be true because L could be at the junior high school. We see that. What about C? C doesn't have to be true. We have M at the senior high school for this one. And looks like this one is D could be the correct answer. And E is something that doesn't have to be true. O doesn't have to be at the junior high school at all. O could be at the senior high school. So we actually, O is at the senior high school for this template, for this one possibility. So we actually like solve this by process of elimination using our previous work, which you should always do if you can. But sometimes you can't. So let's just say that you didn't have previous work or your previous work wasn't helpful to you for some reason. Let's just figure this out from scratch. I wouldn't do this on the exam. I'm not taking the exam. I'm making a YouTube video. If P is at, okay. Let's see. I'm looking at my two major templates here. If P was over here, and I'm going to make that happen on basically both of my boards. So using my left side board, if P is over there and not teaching French, then here's how things would be. And then I would still have to assign N and O. So that's how things would be assigned. And then looking at my right side here, it'd be the same thing. So P would have to teach Russian over here. And then that would leave me to assign N and O. Well, N always teaches Russian. So N would have to be over here on the senior side. And then O always teaches French. And this means that K would teach French. So this means that the thing that would have to be true the thing that is consistently true on both possibilities, on both sides of the board, is that. So that would be like another way to solve it. All right, I hope this has been helpful for everybody. Thank you so much for watching my video. Contact information is below. If you have like a game you want to request that I do, put it in the comments. I check my YouTube every single day, or you could contact me through any other of the things I have listed below. Thank you for watching. I love making these videos for you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I have to end the meeting. And bye.